I remember how I first learned about Adrian. It goes back to when I was a senior executive at Danaher Corporation. As you know, Danaher is a remarkably successful company with outstanding performance. But as a senior leadership team, we felt like our culture, although it had many great aspects, there were some parts of the culture that we wanted to improve. There were some things about the culture that were preventing everyone from being as engaged and as enthusiastic and as passionate as we wanted them to be. And so we began a fairly thorough search of who were the experts in this idea of building a culture. Who are the experts in creating associate engagement as a competitive advantage? Very quickly, we decided this was the person we wanted to have come and speak at our annual Danaher Leadership Conference, where we brought in about 200 of the top leaders from around the world. He came to this conference and really he wowed us. I remember when the section on engagement was over, and I actually was personally responsible for leading that half day of the two-day conference. And we had devoted a half day to engagement. I went and sat down by one of the founders of the company, and he said, in 40 years of this conference, that half day was the most powerful we've ever had. Not only did I get to work with Adrian while I was at Danaher, later when I became CEO of a $4 billion private company, which we then took public, we introduced Adrian to that leadership team as well. And in both cases, I saw the impact of his work over time. I would consider Adrian to be one of the gurus who's helped me learn the most about employee engagement. To really understand a problem, you need the data. And Adrian's work is based on survey results of over 800,000 people in the workplace and what makes them feel engaged and what makes them excited to come to work every day. And so I thought Adrian did a great job of adapting his message to the needs of our company. He really did his homework in advance. He spent time talking with me and the other executive vice presidents, and then he also met with the head of HR and the CEO to truly understand what our culture was like at the time, but also what kind of culture we were trying to build. And then both his speech and his book offer very actionable, specific takeaways, things that you can start to do differently the very next day. You can leave. But more and more, understanding what makes people tick, what motivates them, what gets them excited, what causes them to want to give freely an extra bit of effort, that's all about culture. And if we fail to do it, we will lose the war for talent and our businesses will suffer because of it. So I think the work that Adrian does is outstanding because it gives us a roadmap, very specific steps on how you build a culture, a winning culture.